Before we talk about your remarkable career, let's talk a little bit about how you started. What was your father? Was he a golfer?
Well, my dad's obviously a farmer, and he sort of played football for his local village, and then he started playing golf when he felt that he couldn't play football anymore, and he took us all along with him up to Llanymynech Golf Club, and that's where I started playing.
Was he a good golfer? Was it somebody you had to learn from, or did you have to have lessons?
Well, my dad was a real competitor, you know,
Yeah.
always was a great competitor. His passion in life wanted to be a boxer, but in them days his parents wouldn't let him do it, so he's always keen for one of his sons or his daughters to be in sport, and he pushed me quite a lot, and you know, I took up the game. He was a decent golfer, but his best part about it, you know, his fight to win, you know what I mean, and he got down to 4 handicap, and you know, he wasn't the prettiest of swings. He had a little short stab at it and little slice, but you know, he did it every single time.
I know in the early days you were pretty good at football yourself. Was it football or golf, and then you decided golf?
Yeah, football, you know, when you're young, and I was playing golf decently, and I got picked for Shropshire to play in the Shropshire team for football and golf, so I decided to make that decision about 14 or 15 I was then, to take up golf. I just played the one sport then.
How tough was it in the early days to get your card in? Was it easy in those days, or was it tough?
It was pretty tough, you know. I don't know how many competitors would be playing at Foxhills, we were down at Chertsey in London, and you know, we played over 2 golf courses at the Foxhills Club, and it was like, you know, don't take your driver with you. I wasn't the straightest of drivers then. I just used to play a 2-iron off every tee near enough, and I went 3 times. I got my card the first time, lost it, got it, lost it 3 times. I went back to the school and got my card every time, and that, you know, it was a part of my career to start with.
So the belief in your game then, even though you lost your card 2 or 3 times, you knew yourself you were good enough to be on the main tour? Well,
I always had this belief in, if you could do one good score, you could always do it again. But the trouble was, when I was younger, I didn't get enough time to practice and play. You know, like one of my best friends and my team partner in Shropshire was Sandy Lyle. Well, wow. Sandy, you know, he lived at Oxton Park. He was practicing before he went to school, practicing when he come back from school. So when I turned sort of professional, the first 5 years was just a learning curve for me, really.
A lot of highlights in your career as a pro. Would world #1 be almost as big as winning the Masters, or is it always the winning the major that's the biggest goal?
I think everybody's recognised for being the major. You've got to win a major. If you don't win a major, you don't get that recognition, really. And but being world #1 is something special for me, and I had so many critics when I was younger of not being tall enough, being big enough, and to be the best golfer in the world. And I just thought, well, that's where my dad came in, and my attitude came to it. And I'll show you that I can do it.
Let's talk a little bit of the Masters, because everybody watches that tournament. Is, in my opinion, and probably a lot of the public's opinion, it's the #1 tournament to watch. I know it's probably not as big as the British Open or the seniors at the US Open, but it's a great on to win. Highlights in that particular tournament?
Well, I think another thing we were talking about world #1 that week. On that Monday morning, I went to world #1, and I think that was a big boost as well. I thought, well, you're the #1 player in the world. You've got to go out there and win and prove them that I'm world #1, and that was great. But you know, just going through that week, I shot 72 the first day, didn't putt very well, and went on the putting green, tried another putter. And, I was putting well with my own putter, but I was a little bit nervous with the short putter, with the short one, so I decided to take this other putter. It was called a Tad Moore, and I was really confident for the 3-footers, and that changed my game. And the next day I think I went something like 66, 67, and that put me on the way to winning.
So you led going into the final round. I believe you're in the last group with Tom Watson. Was Tom Watson one of the players you aspired to be?
No doubt about it. You know, I had so many different players I wanted to play like. You know, Jack Nicklaus, the way he analysed the game. You know, Gary Player for his fighting abilities, and then Tom Watson for the way he swung the club and the way he went about, very aggressive. That's how I wanted to play, and I was playing with one of my childhood heroes, really.
I talked a little bit off camera yesterday about the final round of the Masters with you, and you had it in the bag, really, didn't you? You were 3 or 4 shots in front, and then they had a bit of a comeback.
Yeah, I think that's what's so exciting about the Masters. It's the first tournament, the first major of the year. I think that's what's so exciting, when everybody knows the course and the challenge was coming up. And I said I was 3 shots ahead after 15 holes, and you know, you feel comfortable, but you know, I had a 20-minute wait, and I knocked it in Rears Creek, and Tom, and all of a sudden Tom Watson makes an eagle, so we're all square. So, and then you know, I thought he might have been 4 behind me. So he came behind, and then eventually and he makes another eagle down 15, and I make a birdie, and we're all square, and you know, Lazabella caught us up by then, and so it was all 3 of us going down the last hole, and
fantastic.
you know, and I'll never forget that day. You know, I took it over the bunkers. No one else had done it before.
Why does nobody do that now? Is the teeth that far back?
Really, I can't even get within 20 yards of it now. I'm not going to get into the bunker. Yeah, they moved the tee back. They stretched the bunkers a bit longer, and they've taken the tee back at least 50 yards. So it's a massive, it's a massive hit for me to just get up to the bunkers. And some of the big guys can't carry it, but they can get up or get down the side of it. But fortunate enough that the tee was up a little bit, the wind was behind, and I played into an area where I felt I was going to have a good second shot at it.
Well, obviously you went on to win the tournament. Now, the career as it spanned on, I mean, Ryder Cup, you must have had a lot of great times, Ryder Cup, obviously eventually being Ryder Cup captain. How great was that for being the captain?
Yeah, first year being 83, going to West Palm Beach and being part of the team, you know, I can remember standing on the first tee and I'm playing with Sam Torrance, and you know, I've hit some shots and I'm putting, and I said to Sam, you know, I feel so ill. I want to be sick. You know.
That's with nerves, yeah.
That's with nerves, and
wow.
And Sam said, "Oh, don't worry. You know, I'll look after you." So we get on the first tee, and you know, I've got my 1 iron out. It's only a short par 4 it was, and out of bounds down the right. And Sam gets his 3 with whoosh, straight out of bounds.
Made you feel a lot better then.
Made me feel like I was even shaking even more. But it just shows you he was nervous, you know. He was being brave, and I knocked it down the fairway with a 1 iron, 9 iron to about 3 foot and hold the putt. Funny enough, I didn't see Sam for 4 holes.
Oh, you carried him for the first 4?
First 4, I think I was sort of 1 under for the first 4, 2 under, and then he had 7 birdies after that. We had a fantastic
Oh, so you won your first match?
No, we tied. We played Ben Crenshaw and Calvin Pete.
Well, good to
so
speak,
we had
Calvin.
a fantastic game.
Obviously, you went on then to become captain of the Ryder Cup team. That must have been a bit of a thrill.
Fantastic, you know, to get the honour of being captain, and you know, and to do it in the K Club in Ireland. I've had so many great memories of Ireland, and you know, so many great friends in Ireland. It was just magnificent, and you know, I had one of the strongest teams there had been. Berners Langer team had just come off a massive win, so I had to prove that I could do it.
Before we talk a little bit about the British Par 3, which we've got here, other highlights really, I mean, obviously being world #1, winning you won 47 tournaments around the world, and now you've got the pleasure of winning at senior events.
Yeah, and you know, which is nice now. I love playing the seniors events. I think that's, you know, it's something that you can sort of play and have a bit of fun with, and a bit relax, and seeing the boys, and you know, and it's great to have these tournaments all over Europe, and you know, some places we play you know, all over the world, and it's fantastic. What other sport can you do that?
Absolutely.
Really? Well, you can do it in snooker. But you know, we're lucky to be able to be out in the fresh air and playing golf.
Well, we're here at Nelcott Hall for the Farm Foods British Par 3 Championship. How big a test has this been for you?
Well, you know, I play the par 3 at Augusta every year. I never complete it. But this is, you know, there's lots of water there, but this is a fine course. I had a little practice round on Tuesday night, and then played yesterday. And you know, if you don't get your yardage right, you're going to be in some serious trouble. And you know, I won over yesterday. I'm not out of it. You know, you've only got to have a few bad holes, and the scores will come back to me if I play well.
Well, Tony Jacqueline's hosted it for a few years. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you here this year, and best of luck for the rest of the career.
Thanks so much, Willie. Cheers.